next portions of motivational theories. In the previous class, in the last class, we have discussed about the two of the theories regarding motivation. The last part of that organization behavior psychology, that is we have discussed about personality perception, all those we have discussed in the previous classes, and we are now discussing about motivation. And in the last class we have discussed about Maslow's motivation theory, hierarchy theory of motivation, Maslow's hierarchy theory of motivation, and X and Y theory of motivation. Those two theories we have already discussed in the last class. Now, today, what will be the next part? Today, we're going to discuss about, according to a syllabus, is the Herzberg's motivation theory or Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory. Okay, let me present the material. I think all of you can see the presentation now. Hello. Okay, now you can see the presentation, no? Okay, so okay, in the notes I have given some recapitulation of Maslow's hierarchy theory and XY theory by McGregor's. Okay, this is the uh, shortened part of the previous class notes. After that, number 3, there we have discussed two theories. Today we'll go for the third one. Number 3 is the Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory. Now, as an introduction of this theory, that is Friedrich Herzberg in the year of 1957 established this theory, and the basis of this theory is on inquiry or on the investigation over 200 professionals or 200 employees of different organizations by him, by that researchers named Frederick Hatchberg. Okay, so what is the type of the inquiry or the investigation? That is, he investigated over 200 professionals from different organizations and asked about their feelings about their jobs, the feelings about their jobs. In the form they gave only one question, that is the feeling about their jobs. And these kind of theories, obviously these kind of theories are established after a large survey among a number of people, and this survey was done on 200 people from different organizations, and they shared their feeling about their jobs, whether they felt good or they felt bad, that those people or those professionals shared. And from the results of that inquiry, Frederick Herzberg established this hygiene motivation theory, which is named as Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory, two factors theory, or dual structure theory. Why this two factor theory or dual structure theory is that because this theory is based on or solely dependent on these two factors. One is hygiene factor and one is motivation factors, or these hygiene factors are named as extrinsic motivators, and these motivation factors are named as intrinsic motivators. Now, these two motivators or these two factors that we have to to understand the total thing of this hygiene motivation theory, or why this theory is called two factors or dual structure theory, that we should understand from the definition of this kind of intrinsic or extrinsic motivators or factors. Okay, now extrinsic motivators or hygiene factors are those which are the basic motivators or basic needs. We are actually continuing to study about the needs of some human being, which can play a role of motivation or role of motivator. So the need, what is what are those needs? Those we have studied in the Maslow's hierarchy theory. There are different levels of needs. Some are the basic needs, are the high levels of needs. Now, in this hygiene factor theory, or the extrinsic motivators or hygiene factors are the basic needs of human beings. Those are food, water, shelter, or the safety needs. That means the lower levels needs of Maslow's hierarchy theory. That's why we have studied or we have discussed Maslow's theory at the first of all these numbers of theories. Okay, because that theory is the basics of all other theories, because there the definition, the well-defined thing of needs, well-defined structure of needs of humans are there in Maslow's hierarchy theory. And in this case also you can see that again needs thing is coming into action of motivation. So the basic needs, or those needs that mean that those may be food, shelter, water, safety, those needs are hygiene factors or extrinsic motivators. Now what is the characteristics of these basic needs? That is, when these needs are not satisfied, or when the management of any company or any organization is not tending to satisfy these basic needs, employees uh, are unsatisfied and demotivated towards their jobs. This is the hygiene factors. Now you may say that this is the basic thing or basic definition, that is, if needs are not fulfilled, then the employees are demotivated. But in this case, when this kind of basic needs are not fulfilled, then demotivation may come into action. But when these type of basic needs are fulfilled, then the motivation cannot be increased, because the thing is that the basic needs are well expected from the employees. That means you are doing jobs and you get paid, you are getting salary. So this is obvious, and if someone is getting you, sorry, if the company or organization is give you the salary, that is the payment of your job. So if you are getting salary, then obviously your motivation level is not increasing, but your demotivation level is decreasing or reduced. That means that is okay, then that is okay. I'm getting paid, I'm getting my salary, so okay, I'm not demotivated or dissatisfied. That is the thing of hygiene factor. And what factors, those factors which actually increase the motivation level, those are intrinsic motivators, and these motivators are actually the higher levels of needs you may get from the Maslow's hierarchy theory or Maslow's hierarchy needs. So the high levels of needs may be the challenging work, the recognition, the growth potential, those maybe, or the respect you may get from your job. Those are intrinsic motivators. Now when you are getting this kind of respect or growth potential or relationships like that, that means the high levels of needs are fulfilling, then your motivation level will automatically increase. But if you don't get this kind of, or don't fulfill this kind of needs, then your motivation level will not decrease or will not be reduced. Okay, because this kind of needs are high levels need, and you have to give your effort to achieve this kind of needs. So if this kind of needs are not acquired, then obviously your motivation level will not reduce, but you will be in a neutral condition. But if you achieved this kind of needs, then your motivation level will increase. This is the two factors or dual factors theory. That's why these theories named as dual factors theories or two factors theories. Okay, now, okay, that what I have described just now, that is given here. That is what is extrinsic motivators, what is intrinsic motivators, and what is the function of these two kinds of motivators. That is one, that is extrinsic motivators or hygiene factors will uh, stop you to demotivated and stop you to dissatisfied, but this extrinsic motivator will not increase your motivation level, will not increase your motivation level, intrinsic motivators, but sorry, extrinsic motivators, but intrinsic motivators will increase your motivation level. And this kind of intrinsic motivators will not reduce your motivation level when these motivation factors will not fulfilled. Okay, so one is stopping you to dissatisfied or demotivated, and another factors or intrinsic factors will increase your motivation level. Both are having different role in your uh, organization. Okay, one is stopping to reduce the motivation level, and one is increase your motivation level. Okay, so these are two factors. Now here I have given one diagram or flow chart by which you can easily understand how these two factors are working. That is, job dissatisfaction is controlled by hygiene factors. When hygiene factors are fulfilled or this kind of needs are fulfilled, then job dissatisfaction reduced reduces job dissatisfaction. But hygiene factor cannot control the job satisfaction. Okay, this will reduce job dissatisfaction or this will reduce the demotivation, because these factors are obvious factors, or you may say that these factors are well expected factors. That's why when you fulfill these needs or these hygiene factors, then you will be uh, not dissatisfied, but your motivation level will not increase. But in case of job satisfaction, that means increasing of motivation will will be controlled by motivator factors or uh, motivate extrinsic sorry, intrinsic motivators, that is achievement, recognition, respect, all of this. And this kind of intrinsic motivators will increase the motivation level, but this cannot control the dissatisfaction or demotivation of the employee. This is the difference between two of the factors. That means these hygiene factors improves the motivator factors. Sorry, hygiene factors improve the uh, decrease of dissatisfaction, decreases job dissatisfaction. Hygiene factors will decrease job dissatisfaction, and motivator factors increase the job satisfaction or increase the motivation level. Okay, this is the difference between two factors. Here the diagram or the flowchart is described. Okay, this is all about the theory of two factor or motivation hygiene. These are actually two factors, motivation and hygiene, and this is Hartsburg's motivation hygiene theory. This is number 3 from your syllabus. Okay, now coming to the next. Okay, now in this material also I have given the previous parts in a short way, and after Hartsburg's motivation hygiene theory I have given the fourth one, the fourth theory, that is the Alderfer's ERG theory. What is ERG? I'll discuss. But before that, the introduction of theory is that Alderfer's actually established this theory in the year of 1969, and this theory is the simplified version or modified version of Maslow's hierarchy need theory. Here, Aldous actually uh, modified the way of fulfilling the different needs uh, than the Maslow's theory. Okay. Now, what is ERG? ERG is the Aldous is actually uh, categorize those 5 human needs, those you have studied in Maslow's hierarchy need theory, those 5 needs into 3 categories. Here, one is existence, one is relatedness, and one is growth. This E for existence, R for relatedness, and G for growth. And these 3 initials will name this theory, that is the ERG theory: existence, relatedness, and growth. Okay, now Clayton P. Adler first established this theory in the year of 1969, and what is the basis of this theory is the Maslow's hierarchy need theory. Just he has recategorized the different needs, 5 levels of needs, into 3 categories. Now I think what is existence, I don't have to describe that. That is, the existence is the basic level of needs, that is the physiological need, that is air, food, water, shelter, and safety related need, that is the health, secure employment, that is the job satisfaction, like that. This is the two most basic needs, those are given in the Maslow's hierarchy. So this existence need is the basic needs, as obviously if you want to be motivated, then you have to free your brain from thinking of these kind of needs. That means if you have not enough food or not enough water, then obviously your brain will be busy to think about food and water, because those are basic needs. You can't exist without food and water and air. So if you cannot fulfill these basic needs of existence, then you cannot be motivated for your further or higher levels of needs. These needs are these needs are called existence according to this ERG theory. Now relatedness is the uh, medium levels of needs. Those are friendship, family, or the esteem needs given in the Maslow's hierarchy level. uh, and these are medium level of uh, motivators or needs which motivates you. If you fulfill these kinds of relatedness needs, then will be motivated for the higher levels of needs. And those high levels of needs are growth means growth in your job, growth in your social uh, establishment or achievements or self confidence or your social existence. Those high levels of needs will be the maximum levels of needs, and these are the three categories of ERG need theory. Now, coming to this figure, here you can see that this hierarchy or this triangle is the hierarchy need of prescribed by Maslow. But here here this ERG needs or ERG theory, these five needs are recategorized. The safety and physiological needs is category 1 as existence need. This social need is category 2, sorry, this social and self esteem. This part will be higher than this. Okay, this self esteem and social need is categorized as relatedness need, and the self actualization need is the growth need. And these initials of these three words will name the theory. Okay, now this theory is having three relationship between different levels. Those are satisfaction, progression. Satisfaction, progression is nothing but when you have fulfilled, when you have fulfilled certain level of needs. Maybe you have fulfilled physiological needs and will progress to the higher needs, moving up to higher levels of need based on satisfied needs. Frustration, regression. This relationship is actually when you were uh, you are not able to fulfill any levels of needs, and you are continuously trying to achieve that need or fulfill that need. That is called frustration regression. That means if you are not able to fulfill this social need, you are continuously trying to achieve or fulfill this need. That is frustration regression. Next relationship is the satisfaction strengthening. What is satisfaction strengthening? That is when you are not able to fulfill or achieve any levels of needs, and you are going back towards the lower levels of needs. That means if you are not able to achieve this self esteem, uh, your ability is not to achieve this self esteem, then the psychology is to achieve the previous three levels of needs so strong that you can forget the pain to not achieve these needs. This is the psychology of human being, and then you will strengthen the previous three levels of needs. That is the uh, satisfaction strengthening. Now I have given one picture by which you can understand those three relations. One is the satisfaction progression. This firm arrow will represent the satisfaction progression. That means when you achieve one levels of needs, you will progress to the higher levels. This is the frustration regression. That is when you cannot fulfill one levels of need, you will regret. And this is the satisfaction strengthening when you cannot fulfill any levels of the need, you will strengthen the previous one. Okay, so this is the figure by which you can understand the relationship. Now, this is the difference between ERG theory and Maslow's model. Here are several points by which you can understand the difference. Because why I am discussing the difference, because the Maslow's hierarchy need theory and this ERG theory is having the same kind of levels of needs, because the need hierarchy is actually recategorized uh, in three new categories. There is nothing new, but there is a huge difference between these two theories. First one is the Maslow's theory needs must be satisfied in a sequence. That means one after another. That means from lower levels of needs to the higher levels of needs. But in case of ERG theory, a lower levels of need does not have to be satisfied to move up to the higher levels of needs. That means you have the freedom to fulfill any levels of need at any time. If your relatively more significant need is not gratified or fulfilled, this gratified term is very much useful for this purpose. This is actually fulfilled. The synonym of fulfilled, the desire of gratify a lesser need will be increased. Okay, that means you may uh, regret, or you may go back to the previous levels of needs. That is not done in the uh, Maslow's theory, because if you have fulfilled the previous one, then you can go to the upper one. Okay, now third point is ERG theory allows the order of needs to differ from different pupils. That means uh, you have the freedom to fulfill this maybe this social or self-esteem need before this one. There I have given one example, that is a starving artist. Uh, this is one common matter, that is the starving artist. That means when an artist is starving, but then also he or she will not having the tendency to fulfill their physiological or safety needs. They want to achieve the recognition or respect need before that. This is the psychological thinking of artists. Actually, this is the general thinking of artists, that I have to get the respect, get the recognition. If you are not getting paid also, you will, if, as an artist, you will have the tendency to get the respect. These maybe this starving artist theory may be explained by this ERG theory, but you cannot explain this theory of starving artist by Maslow's theory, because Maslow's theory depends on the sequence of the needs that someone have to fulfill the basic needs before he or she will go to the recognition or respect needs of that self-esteem needs. Okay, now fourth point is the in ERG needs you have the freedom to pursue different levels of needs at any time, multiple levels of needs at same time, that you cannot do in the Maslow's theory. So this is all about the ERG theory prescribed by ADVAN'CE'D. And if you having any question regarding this, you may ask. And one thing I should say, that in after all the notes, I have given some MCQ questions, and all the answers is there in the notes or the theory part I have given here. You may practice for your own from those questions. Okay, so anyone having any question up to this? So mm, I'm stopping the presentation. If you have anything to say, then you may ask, or I'm taking your attendance. Okay. Please respond. Ononna Bori, Vaibhav Chaudhary, Bomong Mok, Devnath Patro, MD Faiz Alam, Monosij Haldar, Ritobroto Roy. Yes. Okay. Ritvik Kumar, Rohit Prasad Mondol, SK Jamirul, okay, so I think all have responded. So now I'm finishing the class for today. Next week, I think I can finish your syllabus in the next class. Only one class is required to finish it. So please, all of you, and please inform all of your friends to attend the next week's class. In that class, I will give you some suggestive questions, or I'll discuss some suggestive things. Those you may get in your next CA test. Okay, because I think you know that your final semester exam is not for the subject. You will not have to sit for semester exam for this organization BBA subject. Just you have to score these internal exams or internal tests, and from that you will get the marks for your final result. So for CA4 exam, please attend the test after preparing well, and in the next class I will discuss the rest part of the syllabus, and I'll discuss some suggestive things regarding this subject. Okay, so please uh, attend the next class and inform all of your friends to attend the class, okay, in the next week. Okay, so Thank you. Now you may leave the class. We'll meet again in the next class in the next week.